Welcome to your Monday. I'm Jay Cleveland Payne, aka your Mr. Monday, and this quick bit of motivation and inspiration was originally published on July 29, 2019. The original message goes as follows. Sometimes your dream job becomes a nightmare. Sometimes your vision of your work becomes blurry because someone else is messing up the view. So going deeper into this is a message I wrote specifically about me working at my then dream job, which was becoming a nightmare itself, but an actual even better analogy to explain how this process worked for me in my head is just ironically happened a few weeks ago. We took my daughter and her best friend to the zoo, and as 7-year-olds tend to do, they tend to love each other a lot and argue about a lot of things because that's what they do. They both were arguing over watching the gorillas at the zoo with the big binocular things that the zoo has. They fought over doing it, they fought over putting quarters into it, and they fought over the turns watching into the thing. What they really got on each other's nerves were doing was each time one girl would get onto it and use the visor to clear the vision to see what was going on, the other girl would turn the knob because they were mad and wanted their turn, so they made it blurry for them on purpose. Then the switch turns and the same thing happened. One girl would fix the vision so they could see through the binoculars, and then the other girl would turn the knob so they couldn't see it. It was comical in the back end, it was frustrating in the real time, and it means a lot now that it's caught up to this actual message, now that we've caught up to it as well. And because everything eventually gets back to being about me, back to me and the visions I was having at my job at the time. It was the dream job. There were plenty of frustrations about the job itself, but I was doing something I loved and doing with people who I loved working with, and that was awesome. Then there was some change in management. It was change because it had to happen. Not necessarily wanted, but had to happen. A shift in people being in charge, a shift in the way things being done, and a shift in the main vision for what the place was trying to do. And because the vision was changing, people were changing the way things were being viewed. At first, it just looked like my dream job was becoming a total nightmare, and it was getting really bad. The situation at work wasn't all that great, but it wasn't that the job itself was a nightmare. It was my vision was being impaired. Someone was putting up blinders in some places and darkening windows someplace else and putting up deflections for light here and there, and things weren't being seen. It's essentially turning the place into a house of mirrors where what you thought you saw was not the exact thing. It was a reflection of something else, maybe a reflection of a reflection of a reflection. So while many people were stuck going through the motions of getting their jobs done, most people were stuck doing that while not knowing exactly where they were going, not knowing exactly what they were doing or why it was even important anymore. The vision changed. The goals changed. The way we saw things changed. So for most of us, me especially, the dream was becoming a nightmare quickly. What I had to learn so I could cope with the work was that the vision was being impaired by someone else. And what I had to do was find a way to get around that block. It wasn't always pretty, it wasn't always perfect, and sometimes it didn't work at all. I was stuck still with the bad vision, but I knew that the vision was impaired, so I also knew that it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. It becomes an issue when you're dealing with your goals and your plans and the things you're shooting for, where something will come and get in the way and make the vision of that plan just get out of whack. And sometimes it literally is a person bringing you information, whether they're doing it for their own warrant or whether they're doing it just not knowing what's going on, and it knocks you down a couple pegs in the process. You've got to deal with those people accordingly. If they are enemies, they're enemies. If they're allies that are just discouraging you because they're afraid for you, you have to either put them on the enemies list or encourage them to not discourage you. But your vision is, of course, the most important thing for moving forward. And if your vision is impaired, then that's not going to happen. But it's one thing to have impaired vision, something totally different to have vision that you know is slightly ajar that you can also adjust to. That dream job is probably still a pretty good job, but if someone's making it look like it's not as good as it used to be, you need to deal with that person first before you can fix the job, because the problem may not be as much the job as you think it is. Sometimes your dream job becomes a nightmare. Sometimes your vision of your work becomes blurry because someone else is messing up your view. This original message was published on July 29, 2019 from Welcome to Your Monday. For more messages like this one, plus books, merchandise, and other information related to this project, visit the website welcometoyourmonday.com.